Hi, you terrific third graders. I am here to review your week 6 packet with you. Um, as always, I'm going to hold the paper up, so if you are working along with me, then you can see which page we're on, listen to the directions, pause it, and do the work. Or if you are coming here just to answer some questions, you can fast forward till you see the page that you need. So we are going to start. We are going to start right here. The front of the packet, it is week 6. That is going to be from April the 27th, and Friday this week is the beginning of May. So this week will go all the way to the beginning of May. This first page is telling us our expectations, which is kind of nice. We have some new ones. We've got multiplication and measurement this week in our math packet, so that's awesome. Some tools like usual, a place value chart and a 100 chart just in case we want to use those tools. And on this very first page, it says, multiplication word problems, read and answer each question. So it starts us off with a little story. Andrew is having his friends over for game night. So he decided to prepare snacks and games. That sounds like a lot of fun. And there are 5 questions that go along with that story. Now, because it says in the title multiplication word problems, I know that I am going to be using my multiplication to answer these questions. So I'll read the questions to you. Let's do number 1. Number 1, he started by making mini sandwiches. If he has 4 friends coming over and he made 3 sandwiches for each one of them, how many sandwiches did he make? For word problems, the first thing I always do is to stop and read very carefully. So I'm going to do that one more time. He started by making mini sandwiches. While I'm reading, I can either write down the picture, or I'm making a picture in my mind and I can draw that out, or I can just really picture in my mind what's happening. So I'm picturing Andrew. He's making little sandwiches. He has 4 friends coming over and he made 3 sandwiches for each one of them. Okay, so that means for 4 friends, this person gets 3 sandwiches, this person gets 3 sandwiches, this person gets 3 sandwiches, and this person gets 3 sandwiches. My question is, how many sandwiches is that all together? And so what I did was I just said I got 3 one time, 3 2 times, 3 3 times, 3 4 times. That's 4 groups with 3 sandwiches in each one. So that was me just picturing it mentally in my mind, showing you a model with my fingers. I could also draw his friends and make an equal groups model. Here would be his 4 friends, and each one of them gets 3 sandwiches. Make sure you're reading carefully. 1, 2, 3 sandwiches for you, buddy. 1, 2, 3 sandwiches for you, friend. 1, 2, 3 sandwiches for you. And 1, 2, 3 sandwiches for you. Okay, I have an equal groups model. I can see that what I have done is taken 3 sandwiches 4 times, and my number sentence would be 3 taken 4 times, or 4 times 3. We actually know it's kind of the same thing at this point, and equals, well, if you know your multiplication facts, 3 times 4 is, I hope you said 12. And because this is a word problem, I'm going to make sure that I label my answer, although I'm going to look at it because it's even harder for me to write up in the air than it is for me to write backwards. Woo, I had to squeeze it in there. 12 sandwiches. Okay? So those are just a couple of strategies that you can use. Make sure you're reading carefully. Picture the story in your mind. Draw a model if you would like to. Use a number sentence and make sure to label your answer. Question number 2, he also made some juice from fresh oranges. If he used 2 oranges per glass of juice and he made 6 glasses of juice, how many oranges did he use? My question is about how many oranges. Then, okay, question number 3. So listen to that as many times as you want, read it as many times as you need to, follow the steps to answer the question. Then we'll read number 3. Then he started to prepare the games for his 4 friends. If each game takes 5 minutes to prepare, and he prepared a total of 5 games, how many minutes did it take for Andrew to prepare all the games? The question is, how many minutes? So read the story for the details, and there are some extra numbers listed in here. Make sure you are thinking about the question is, how many minutes did it take to prepare the games? So even though the number 4 is in there, 4 is about friends, not about minutes or games. So don't let them trick you. Make sure you're looking for and using the right numbers to answer the question. Number 4, Andrew's 4 friends decided to bring food as well. If each of them brought 4 slices of pizza and 3 bags of chips, how many slices of pizza do they have in total? Again, there's an extra number, an extra detail in there. Go back and listen, rewind and listen to me read it again, or read it to yourself and make sure you're finding the right details to answer the question. How many slices of pizza do they have in total? Question number 5. Lastly, Andrew tried to compute his expenses for the game night. Now, let's just put that into regular language. He wants to know how much money did he spend to set up food and games for his friends, okay? That's what it means by Andrew tried to compute his expenses for the game night. If he spent $9 for each game they played, and they played a total of 5 games, write an equation for how much money it should say spent on games that night, okay? So they want to know how much money he spent for his 5 games. So read carefully, answer those 5 questions, make sure you label your answers. This page says metric units of length, centimeters, meters, and kilometers. Now this paper is fabulous because I hope you remember that metric is a measurement system that we always use for science because scientists use it around the world. So you can obviously use it to measure almost anything, but it's great to get familiar with for communicating with other people doing science all over the world. So this is units of length. That means we're going to be measuring lengths, distances, how long something is. And here's a great hint. So your directions are to circle the proper unit for each of the following. So would we use centimeters, meters, or kilometers to measure each of these things? Now, here's a very helpful note at the bottom. Note, we measure shorter lengths, okay? Smaller objects like pencils in centimeters. Think about the rulers in our classroom have centimeters on them. A centimeter, I would estimate, is about this big, okay? So centimeters, 1 centimeter is pretty short. We're going to use it for measuring shorter objects. And longer lengths like height, so how tall is a whole person? I wouldn't want to measure my whole self in centimeters, these little tiny bits. I'm going to use a longer unit of measurement. So we measure things like height in meters, okay? Meters. We measure longer distances, okay? So even longer than like a person would be tall in kilometers, okay? And that's the abbreviation KM right here, okay? So things like how far to the grocery store might be measured in kilometers. So you're going to look at each of these things and say the length of a calendar, something on your desk. Would we use meters, which is about as tall, not quite, as a person to measure a calendar, or would you use centimeters, or would you use kilometers? And you're just going to circle which one would I use to measure a calendar? Okay. This is the length of a track. Okay, so all the way around a track, the distance traveled by an airplane. Now, I would hate to think that we would measure the distance traveled by an airplane in tiny little centimeters. It would be like from here to Florida or to California, and we measure them all in little tiny bits. No, thank goodness we have bigger units of measurement to help us out with that. So that one, just go through. You go back to that note if you need to. On your next page it's your ELA. The directions are to read the passage, answer the questions. The passage is about national symbols. So national is going to refer to your country. The United States of America is the country that we live in. And so these are symbols that stand for the United States of America. And so you might just activate your thinking right now. What symbols do you know that stand for the United States of America, or that represent the United States of America? The first thing that came to my mind is the flag. That we see it in the gym every morning when we say the Pledge of Allegiance. It has a lot of meaning for a lot of people, and so the flag is one symbol that could represent the United States of America. So read these for a few more. Okay, if you have any questions about this, I am always available. You can definitely ask me on Schoology, or if you would like to read to me or Miss Nancy, you can message us in Schoology. But right now we will review the questions. So if you want to pause and read to yourself, or I will review the questions so that you can have those in your mind when you read. Question number 1, what is the purpose of a symbol? And so again, it's not asking what do you think is the purpose of a symbol? What does the passage say is the purpose of a symbol? So make sure you're coming to the passage, looking for the evidence. What does the passage say is the purpose of a symbol? Number 2, what do the 13 stripes on the American flag represent? Oh, I knew the flag was going to be in there. Number 3, we almost had the turkey as our national bird instead of the American bald eagle. Which do you prefer and why? This is a rare question with our ELA work. It says, which do you prefer? It can be either one. It's definitely the turkey or the bald eagle. You have to pick one of those, but it is asking about your thoughts in this one. Which one do you prefer? But please make sure you're explaining it. Why? Why do you think? And so it talks about at least one of those birds here in your passage, so that might help you out with your reasoning. But make sure you're putting some kind of reason for that. Why do you pick the one you pick? Number 4, what famous American symbol was a gift from a foreign country? So something that was not the United States. It came from there. It was a gift to the United States. Which symbol listed in there is a gift? The last question is on the back of that page. Number 5, it says, which symbol do you think best represents our country and why? So out of all the symbols they talk about in the passage, again, this one is asking for your opinion. Which one do you think is best to represent all of America, or all of the United States of America, but then why? So using information from the passage, what do they tell you about that symbol that you think makes it the best choice? How did you do on this assignment? Man, I totally did great. I rocked it. I went back and looked for evidence. I read carefully, and I made sure to write and complete sentences. I did okay. Oh, next time I need to do a lot better. This was not my best. Okay. At the bottom of this page begins your music assignment. Okay, so I'll read the directions here. The directions: you can use the internet or social media to find different interpretations of the same song, or you can use a family member and create your own. Okay, but we're looking for different interpretations of the same song. If using online resources, please do so with your parents' supervision. I would say this could be whatever adult or grown-up is helping you out with your work. Make sure that they are available when you're looking for online music and resources. Online option, find 2 different artistic versions of the same musical selection, like 2 different performers that are singing the same song, but they do it really differently. Compare the two and note the similarities and differences in the Venn diagram that's given. So I will show you that that is on the back page here. There is a Venn diagram, selection 1, selection 2. So you should write here if you found like a very old-fashioned performer singing a song, and then maybe somebody made a new modern version of the song, then you would write down who was singing them, and in the middle of your Venn diagram. So these are things you notice that are different, go on the outside, and the things you notice that are the same, go where your circles overlap, which we've used a bunch of Venn diagrams. Feel free to message me if you have questions, but I bet you got it. So that's finding some 2 different performers, but the other option is the create option. Get another member of your family, choose a song, and go to separate locations to create either a work of art, a dance, or a drama of that song. When both are complete, come together and share together. So that actually could be really, really interesting. Compare the 2 and note the similarities and differences. And so then you would put that in your Venn diagram. So if you picked a song that you and your brother both really, really like, and you went and decided that you were going to make up a whole dance for that song, but maybe your brother decided to go and draw a picture of how that song makes him feel. Then you come back together on your Venn diagram, you would put, we did the song XYZ, and I made a dance, and my brother drew a picture, and here's how they are different. Obviously, a dance and a picture are different, but maybe they both were energetic, or maybe they both gave off a sad feeling. Maybe you picked a sad song. So whatever is the similarities goes in the middle. You have a lot of room to be very, very creative with your Venn diagram that compares and contrasts different interpretations of the same music. So super exciting as you guys work on that. As always, please do make sure that you are messaging me, keeping up in Schoology, and if you get the chance to sign on, I love to see your wonderful faces in our live chat Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So hopefully I will see you so soon. Have such a great week. Bye.